First, I'd like to thank you and Vice Chair Alexander for helping, and the department and the White House for being responsive to our critical reprogramming request for cleanup funding at Los Alamos National Lab. And I understand the $19 million reprogramming request moved through the congressional approval process just a few hours ago, so this is very encouraging, and I just want to thank you all for that very much for that help. Cleanup of waste, including plutonium waste, at Los Alamos is critical for DOE to meet its commitments to New Mexico. As you're very well aware, there's a consent order in place under court supervision. It's been filed with the court. And I understand that DOE is considering an additional $21 million transfer from NNSA to help for cleanup. These funds will help the CR levels move closer to the President's request. Can you tell me the status of that funding, and is DOE working to expedite that transfer?
Yes, Senator, and I too just received the word a few hours ago, and we're very pleased indeed that the first $19 million has been approved and will be now available. And just let me put that in the context of the great importance we attach to the site and to the safety of the site. We are very aware of the threat that fires pose to that material, and we certainly don't want to see that risk go unanswered. And in that spirit, yes, we are in fact looking to plus up the 19 with an additional 21 million, so we have $40 million to dedicate to moving that transuranic waste to a safer location, and we are in the process of working with that. I believe our staffs have been in consultation, and we are very interested in proceeding down that track.
Thank you for that work on that. The waste isolation pilot project outside Carlsbad, New Mexico is of critical importance to the nation. In 2013 and 2014, we've requested at least $222 million to operate this facility. The President's 2014 budget request was only $203 million. WIPP is the nation's only repository for defense-generated transuranic waste. And we're really doing the rest of the nation a valuable service. But WIPP's an aging facility. Additional funds are needed for operations, maintenance, and repairs. DOE also used to provide about $24 million in WIPP road assistance, but that has been taken out of the budget request in recent years. And now the DOE is proposing to send Hanford tank waste to WIPP, which our state currently prohibits. That prohibition was established by then Governor Bill Richardson, and he knew a little something about DOE, as you know. He was concerned that Hanford waste would contain high-level waste, which is prohibited by law at WIPP. Obviously, DOE will need to be technically accurate and honest with us, or there will be huge problems there. If DOE wants New Mexico to step up and help with Hanford, will DOE step up to help New Mexico with Los Alamos cleanup, WIPP maintenance, and restoring state road funding?
Senator, thank you for the question. I have had the opportunity to visit WIPP, the Waste Isolation Pilot Project. It is an incredibly impressive facility. It's working very, very well, which may be why we don't hear as often about it. We have had to, in these distressed budget times and under the continuing resolution and sequester, Senator, make certain economies. We are focusing on operating that facility safely and reliably, and if we can achieve certain savings that can be rededicated to mission, we'll do that. We're expecting to get 21 shipments into WIPP this year. Clearly, Senator, anything that would have to do with accepting additional streams of material from Hanford or anywhere else, just as you said, would have to be described analytically, technically, carefully, and accurately, and in full transparency and consultation, not only with you, Senator, but of course with the state regulatory authorities, and I can commit to that to you. Finally, we're dedicating, in addition to the reprogramming request, on the order of $214 million to Los Alamos cleanup. I can't even count the number of times I've been there. It is truly a fabulous institution, and we are very committed to keeping it as a critical part of our national security infrastructure.
Thank you very much. And I have one more question, Madam
You
Chair.
go
but I
ahead,
know
please.
Okay.
No, you go ahead.
Okay, thank you. This is relating to the national labs, diversification, tech transfer. As you know, the labs are essential to DOE's research and development mission. They focus on critical, cutting-edge technologies for multiple applications that vary from keeping our stockpile safe and secure to developing the next generation of advanced biofuels and beyond. There are so many applications for these advanced technologies. If they can be researched, developed, demonstrated, and deployed effectively. Tech transfer and innovation is critical to the nation, and we are lucky to have two leaders working on that challenge, Sandia National Labs and Los Alamos National Labs in New Mexico. What are the main barriers to advancing tech transfer and innovation activities at DOE, and how can we work together to overcome those barriers?
Senator, it's a great question, and again, I would only embrace the premise. I'm among the people who uses the phrase crown jewels when it comes to these national laboratories, not only in New Mexico, but elsewhere as well. And in and out of government, I've tried to think about and champion ways to make sure that we can ensure their continued scientific vitality for national security and other purposes. There's a few things that we've been doing to address precisely the problem that you address. We do have these small business programs, the so-called SBIR, the Small Business Innovation Research Program, and the Small Business Tech Transfer Program, which dedicate funds to facilitating tech transfer out of the national labs into small businesses specifically. We also have broader technology transfer programs that have sought. We had actually brought in somebody for a number of years to help us come up with ways to reduce the barriers to the sharing of intellectual property that is generated as really a national asset, and that information in the right kind of circumstances, when it's of course non-classified and so forth, ought to be made available to promote the prosperity of the American people. And a number of innovations have been achieved to try to facilitate contracting arrangements to provide for the appropriate protection of intellectual property and the sharing of that property when we can from the federal government. And I do believe that this is going to be an important part of the National Labs story as they continue into the future, supporting the stockpile on the one hand, but also supporting the innovations and the science that we need across a broad variety of platforms commercially, and in fact there are other national security applications, as you well know. And so we are very committed to continuing a reform effort that has begun. We're not done with it. We're going to keep making sure we do what we can to reduce, really it's more bureaucratic, frankly, and legal kind of barriers that can sometimes make it difficult to share the intellectual property and have the appropriate business arrangements to protect people's investments.
Well, we would like to do everything we can to help you break through those bureaucratic barriers, because I think the nation could benefit enormously from this in terms of jobs, and it would really boost the private sector. So thank you very much.